The alien slave I rescued turned out to be the future ruler of the galaxy. The first time I saw her, she was kneeling in the dust of the Karthon slave markets, silent, unmoving, and covered in the dull gray markings of ownership. The twin suns burned overhead, and every sound in that marketplace, the shouting traders, the metallic clang of cages, faded the moment our eyes met. Her gaze wasn't that of a broken slave. It was steady, sharp, regal. I didn't know it then, but that look would change everything. Beginning the rescue. Karthon 9 was a planet built on cruelty. Slavery wasn't just tolerated there. It was a currency. The Galactic Council called it an independent economy, but everyone knew what it really was. A graveyard for the desperate and the forgotten. I was there on assignment. Not as a hero, not as a savior, but as a mercenary working for the coalition. My job was simple. Extract intelligence from a black market syndicate trading alien technology. But fate had other plans. That's when I saw her, in a cage labeled Lot 47A. The auctioneer, a fat-skinned Trask, barked her description. Unregistered humanoid. Unknown species. Genetic purity. 97%. Slave mark, intact. He hit the control panel, and her vitals flashed on the hologram. Heart rate calm. Oxygen stable. No resistance detected. She'll work, she'll cook, she'll. 2,000 credits, I said before he could finish. The crowd murmured. I wasn't the type to buy anything alive. But I didn't care. I didn't even know why I did it. Maybe it was the way she held her silence. Not fear, not resignation, but patience. The auctioneer sneered. Sold. When the cage opened, she didn't flinch. She just looked at me, her silver eyes reflecting the twin suns. Stand up, I said. She didn't move. Then softly, her voice like wind through broken glass, she asked, "Why would a human buy me?" Had no answer. The escape. That night, the slave camp erupted in chaos. My cover was blown. The syndicate realized I wasn't there for trade. I was there to expose them. Blaster fire tore through the night as alarms wailed. I grabbed her hand, cold and impossibly light, and we ran through the maze of burning tents. She didn't scream. She didn't stumble. Every move was precise, calculated. You're not a slave, I said between breaths. You're trained. Her eyes flickered toward me. You're observant. That may keep you alive. We burst through the north wall, stealing a desert cruiser. The engines roared as we sped into the endless dunes. Behind us, Karthon burned. I remember glancing at her. She was staring out the window, unblinking, as if memorizing the stars. When the horizon glowed with dawn, I asked her name. She hesitated. Then, in a voice both quiet and commanding, she said, Liara. Middle. The truth begins to unfold. For 3 days we crossed the wastelands, avoiding patrol drones. I patched her wounds, gave her rations, tried to make sense of her calmness. She spoke little. But when she did, every word seemed chosen carefully, as if each carried weight. One night, as we camped beneath the shattered moons of Karthon, I finally asked, "You weren't born a slave, were you?" Her gaze lifted to the sky. "No," she said softly. "I was born to command." It sounded like arrogance, but her tone wasn't pride, it was pain. I stared at her, trying to decipher her expression. "Command what?" She turned her head, the firelight catching the faint silver pattern on her neck, a mark that glowed briefly before fading. "My people once ruled 12 star systems," she said. "Before the council erased our name." She paused, eyes distant. "I am the last of the Veyari." The name struck a chord, a legend whispered in the outer colonies. The Veyari were said to be an ancient race of architects and strategists who built the first galactic wormgates, and then vanished without trace. Some said they'd been destroyed. Others said they'd ascended. You're saying your people still exist? Yes. Not anymore, she said. But the Empire remembers. Before I could ask what that meant, our scanners lit up. Coalition interceptors, my own faction, were closing in. They had tracked my transponder. The pursuit. Why are they chasing us? She asked calmly as we veered off course. Because they think I stole classified tech, I said. Turns out I might have stolen something far more valuable. Her lips curved faintly, the ghost of a smile. Now you begin to understand. The ship shook as plasma rounds grazed our hull. I swerved hard, diving into an ion storm. The sky split with violet lightning. Systems flickered, gravity pulsed. Liara moved to the console beside me and placed her hand on it. To my shock, the ship's systems stabilized. The turbulence vanished. What did you? I told it to obey, she said. Veyari vessels used neural resonance to communicate. This one still remembers the language. She spoke softly, and the ship seemed to listen. The engines rebalanced, the shields surged. We broke through the storm unharmed. I turned toward her, heart racing. You shouldn't be able to do that. Human tech doesn't. She met my eyes. Human technology was built upon ours. The hidden planet. We hid on the shadow side of a gas giant, a place known as Viral's grave, where abandoned orbital wrecks formed a floating scrapyard. I scavenged for supplies while Liara spent hours interfacing with the ship's systems, whispering in that strange melodic tone that made the metal respond. At night, she told me fragments of her story. The Veyari had been betrayed by the Galactic Council centuries ago. Their empire dismantled, their worlds enslaved, their bloodlines hunted. Liara had been smuggled away as an infant by loyal guardians, raised in hiding, unaware of her true identity, until her captors sold her as property on Karthon. I was meant to return when the stars aligned, she said. But they found me first. Her eyes glowed faintly, not from light but from something within. What do you mean when the stars aligned? Yes. She looked up at the night sky, a fractured map of constellations. Our ancestors encoded the coordinates of our lost worlds into the starlight. When the right alignment appears, the way home reveals itself. I didn't understand half of it, but somehow I believed her. The revelation. Days turned into weeks. The coalition branded me a traitor. Every news feed carried my name. But Liara wasn't afraid. She seemed to grow stronger each day. Her energy, her presence, her power. Then one night, the stars above Viral's grave shifted. I was checking the sensors when she suddenly appeared beside me, eyes wide. It's time, she whispered. What is? She pointed at the screen. The alignment. The ship's navigation console lit up, forming a spiral of coordinates across the holographic map, a pattern that ended at a single destination, the dead system of Orith Prime. That system's quarantined, I said. No life, no signals, nothing but wreckage. Not wreckage, she said. A throne. The return of the Veyari. We jumped through hyperspace, arriving at a field of ancient debris. Derelict ships, shattered moons, and glowing energy signatures that pulsed faintly in the void. As we approached the planet, Liara placed her hands on the console again. The wreckage began to move, shifting, aligning, forming a massive ring structure. The ship vibrated violently. Energy arced through the hull. What's happening? Shouted. The gate, she said. It's waking.